So there's another question here. There's a third part of this. So there's returning to the ashram, there's opening to divine love, there's being on a spiritual path, but there's another part there, which is answering the question of who am I? This is something that Jyotish and Devi touched on in one of their talks this week, a couple of their talks actually. So it was Inner Renewal Retreat, the Inner Renewal Week that took place up in Nevada City. All of these recordings are available for free to all of us. You can just go on to ananda.org and register and get access to those recordings. But this question of who am I, that for most people we start with the external. I am, whatever it is that I do, whatever my profession is. I am a lawyer, a doctor, a student, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a son, a daughter, a brother, whatever. All of those things, the external factors of my life define who I am. Well, that may be where we start, but that's ultimately not conducive to this spiritual path and to opening our heart for that divine love. It's eventually we get to that point, eventually in this life or in whatever life, probably in many lives, we get to that answer of, I am a child of God. Now, recognizing that, stating out loud is one thing. Actually living it, whole nother thing. Because we have habits. We have the habits of, I am in this personality. I have the habits of, I am this way in this world. I am that way. Each of us have those personalities. So we have to change. There's a little bit of change management that goes on to get to that point of, I'm a child of God, and here's what that means. Now, one of those things is a recognition that as a child of God, I am a part of everything. Each of us are a part of everything. That soul spark of divinity that resides in all of us connects all of us. And all of us, whether we are on a spiritual or not, are trying to get back to that because that soul is trying to get back to that reunion with God, where that spark can join that bliss. So that whatever anybody is doing, they're trying to get back to the ashram. That's all it is getting back to that ashram, getting back to the guru, back to God. I was very misguided. Perhaps some of you were. I can read in the newspapers every day how misguided so many people are, but that's maybe my own judgments around that. I am a part, as a soul, as a child of God, I am a part of everything and everyone. So as I'm sort of judging, well, that person, that political figure, that entertainer, that whatever, they're doing it wrong. Well, to the degree that I'm saying it to myself, nobody's hearing it, but there's an energy there. I'm saying it to myself. This is the essence of what ahimsa is, of what Patanjali was talking about in that yama, in the yamas and niyamas, of do no harm. That just having those thoughts can harm me. It's holding myself back. And that's ultimately what this change management is all about. Whether somebody is on the spiritual path or like many of us here in this room or watching online who are on a spiritual path and are working towards something, even if we're not quite sure exactly what that something is, that change management is changing the way we think as a part of everyone and as a part of everything that is. The recognition of what does it matter what they're doing? That's between them and God. What does it matter whether I agree or disagree with how they're doing it, when they're doing it? They're just doing what seemed like a good idea at the time. The more that I can practice sending them divine love, unconditional, no conditions on that. Now, in one sense, it's easier when I don't really know them. They're just headlines in the news. Perhaps the people who I'm around with, it's maybe a little bit harder. I might feel when I'm attuning to what is it that I should be doing to help, are they calling me for that help? What is it that I want to say to these people? Well, regardless of what it is I want to say, regardless of whether they're asking for feedback or I want to give that feedback, always having with that sense of contentment behind the present moment, giving that unconditional love, channeling it as much as I can.